a lot of times people realize that money makes happiness, and that's not the case. You can have money and be comfortable, but you can buy as many Gucci, Louis. Don't get me wrong, I like nice shit.
Yeah, look at you.
Backed out and
But-
came in with the
Hold up, he ain't talking about the roads. He ain't talking about the bus out there.
But at the same time, and I tell people this all day, every day, all this stuff can be gone. But you have to come back to your morals. Could I get it back? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the drive when you got to bet on self and realize that, not being complacent, but understanding that this can go away tomorrow.
Right.
And so when I had to start over from nothing after, 3 houses and cars.
Talk about it. That's what I wonder.
Boats and things like that, to sleeping on your brother's couch. And, thinking this stuff's going to fall out the sky because all the stuff you did for other people. And
it's not coming back full circle.
It's not coming back full circle, but then you learn too, man. I had a lot of money at a young age, but I didn't, and I talked to people about this. I said, I was the big dog in the circle, but I should have been making my circle the oval, but surrounding myself with other people on things that I didn't know about. Real estate, investment, stock market, all those things. I rented. I could have owned.
Right. Just because you ain't even know. You know what I mean?
Because myself, I'm balling, but I was paying off somebody else's dreams.
Exactly.
And, when you really dig down to the details, like, man, if I just would have elevated my circle, and elevating your circle means you're going to lose people who you think you're friends. And a lot of times they're not.
Exactly. People fall into that.
All those things. But then when you got to say no,
you find out who your real people are.
You find out real quick.
And I bet that kind of hurts you too, though. You know what I'm saying? Like as the man, as the person, the alpha, the person that's like bringing the family or your friends or whatever, being used to, you know what I'm saying? Just taking care of them just because they're your people. And you already don't want to say no. Because you like, damn, if I say no, now it's like, damn, I don't got it. And I've been having it for so long.
Oh, that's a good point right
How
there.
to deal
So
with
that probably even hit you too, regardless of their reaction. Is just the fact that I gotta say no because I can't no more.
Yeah.
Ego is a killer. Pride is a killer. When I tell you that, because even when I had that 200, I was still living like I had the million because I was still, helping people because I didn't want to appear that I didn't have it.
That I lost. Yeah.
So, but when I moved back to DC and, now I'm back with my brother, I'm on, these, and I got these 3 huge storage units. And one of my, don't worry about me. I'm going to pay that, and take care of. Well, that didn't happen. So now you lost
all your
3 houses of storage units. That's why I hate that show that come on.
The Storage Wars.
Yo, because somebody hit the jackpot. They hit the jackpot.
Because they got to keep your shit, huh?
Man.
You talking about all the Versace furniture?
I mean, everything. Man.
Oh.
You talking about.
I hate hearing these stories because this is how I really be at home. Do I really be like,
All right, Moguls in the making, episode 15, Ronnie Jefferson. Let's do that again. Episode 15, Moguls in the making. Episode 15, Moguls in the making. Moguls in the making, episode 15, Ronnie Jefferson dropping a lot of jewels. Stay tuned.
Yo, and we back, man. Moguls in the making, episode 15. Man, we back. I'm your host, Amari Heffler.
man, we back like we never left. I'm your host, Tyrone Johnson. You know we about to get to it today. We got something special for y'all for sure.
Man, we definitely do. First, we're going to hop kind of into the business spotlight. I'll kind of pop off. By the time y'all see this, we should have probably about maybe like 5 other closings done probably by that time. And our 10 unit probably would be done by that time.
Man.
So we let y'all know, obviously, the news a little bit ago, that we was working on that, but that'll be done, refinanced, all of that stuff. So we kind of coming around that corner as far as just cleaning up a lot of stuff. So that was the goal for me and T this year. And we got a lot of private money, too. It's not here, but it's like in the works and stuff like that. So we probably raised another, between like $200,000-300,000 or whatever, just for our everyday, business. So by this time, we've raised probably like, I don't know, maybe like $3 to $4 million in private money in total or something like that so far. So that's just a kind of quick little update.
Absolutely, man. And just also on the flip side of the business, we talk a lot about the wholesale business and just what it is. And just to kind of give y'all an idea, like a lot of people say, getting into rentals and stuff like that, like that's a cash flowing business. But if you really look at the numbers of some of those people's properties and stuff like that, like, is it really cash flowing? You know what I'm saying? Like after you go back and pay all those expenses because you got properties in these horrible areas and stuff like that where the tenants is terrible and they tore the property up. By the time they get out of that, they actually sometimes they taking the L. Now over time, is it building wealth? Yes. I mean, you paying down probably a mortgage or something like that. You know, having somebody else pay it off. But if you like, I'm looking at the wholesale business and us going back into it as more of a cash flowing business for us because we know what we can make out of that business. You can set your numbers up and, you know, read your KPIs and do that as much as possible in order for you to say, hey, we're definitely making this every month.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like even in bad months, this is what we normally make. Our higher months, this is what we normally make. So I feel like we're just getting back to that. That's something that I'm happy about, you know, in the business and just being able to the faster money that's able to come in to really help the business flow as a whole. And then, you know, as we move forward, like we said, we're going to have a 10-unit building, and we're going to start to pick up properties just in better areas with better tenant bases and just do a little bit different things when it comes to that. But think about that when you get into the rental industry and stuff like that, man. It's definitely a great, you know, wealth builder for sure, but it's not money today for the most part.
Yeah, you
know
still
what I'm
need
saying?
it. We cut our water line off with as far as the wholesaling goes, you know, and bought a ton of properties, and it was still it's kind of like you managing money. You know what I'm saying? You're seeing a lot come in, but still a lot is going out. You know, you know, in certain cases. So, you know, and then me and Tyrone was talking, and we was like, that right there, that right there is the cash flow business.
Exactly.
You know, our mentorship that we got and being able to consistently provide value, show you guys where we, you know, like that, where we dropped the ball at, where we didn't have maybe certain people, and we come to y'all super raw. Like,
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? How we come, our whole brand, our whole demeanor is very raw and it's real. And it's like, you know, a lot of times, you know, people sell a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like we've been giving out just different game that people just can't give out if you're not going through it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, I understand the burn method, but you don't understand how a bank will actually look at that. You don't understand if you really cash flowing or not. You don't even understand what the debt your debt coverage service ratio is that you're not going to be able to burr out because your stuff don't meet the rental requirements. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Real life stuff.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. And if y'all haven't heard about it, get with it. It's right behind us. Moguls in the making mentorship, man. We got people in there. One dude did a deal in his first week and made $8,500 in 2 weeks? You know what I'm saying? With them being in the program.
Didn't know nothing.
Didn't know
about
nothing.
real estate.
You know
Zero knowledge.
We helped them wholesale a property. We got somebody in the mentorship within his first 3 weeks, bought his flip. That's now going on the market. He's about to make between $60,000-$70,000 on that property. So we giving out a lot of game, man. It's not just real estate. You know what I'm saying? So most definitely. But without further ado, man, we most definitely, you know I gotta hit it. My God, the big dog on campus over here, man. We got Ronnie Jefferson. He's the Senior Vice President of Merchandise Marketing for Finish Line.
Actually, it's it's a general merchandise manager.
Okay.
So basically, when you go inside a Macy's store, you see Finish Line stores inside there. That's what my team buys for every one of those stores.
And you're the vice president of that.
Senior vice president.
Senior.
Don't forget the senior now.
Can I get a clap? Can I get a clap, a round of applause in? The yellow one. I think it's the yellow one. Come on, man. Introduce him right. Senior vice president, man. Stop playing with him, man.
For real, man.
Pleasure to have you on, man. Appreciate you taking the time out, come and chop it up with us.
No, it's a pleasure being here, man. 100%.
Yeah. Is anything off limits, Ronnie?
Nothing, man. You guys are probably, you haven't seen or heard, but I'm pretty raw with it.
Yeah,
most definitely.
I like to give people the real.
Yeah,
most definitely.
Because I think if you don't get it real, you water it down, and you have a lot of people think about false things. They think it's one thing and it's something different.
Absolutely,
yeah, so.
And that's what he was just talking about, man. Like we super transparent with our community. Yeah. When we like talking about that, like we can sit up here and act like that the rental game has been so great to us. We own over 60 properties. We can sit up here and be like, I'm telling y'all need to get in this. Let me teach y'all this, and then you get into it and be like, damn. They didn't say all this came with it.
He left that part out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
All the glitter.
Exactly. But speaking of that, tell us a little bit about where you came from, growing up and kind of what evolved you and what that did for you, in becoming the person that you are today.
Yeah. So I'm born and raised in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
And a lot of times people say they're from D.C., then it'd be like Fairfax or Springfield.
Right.
Not
That ain't-
really DC.
That ain't DC. I'm Southeast DC.
Okay.
In the hood.
Most definitely.
So, and I wouldn't change anything about that because I learned so much about, the grind, the struggle, and how to make, lemonade out of lemons, limes, and whatever else you can throw in it.
Most definitely.
But yeah, I grew up there. I'm a single parent, my mother, and it was tough. But one thing we learned was because you're living in the hood, that you're gonna have a clean house. You ain't gotta live like you're in the projects, And we had chores, we had everything to the point where I knew how to wash clothes without having a washing machine. We put the detergent
Yep.
in the tub,
bathtub.
and you walk them joints.
You hear me?
You know what I'm saying? So we knew that no matter what, you can always have clean clothes, clean house, and those are values you don't forget.
It just laid a
Build character.
foundation from you. But
Yeah.
Exactly, yo. Building character.
A lot of character. But not only that, it's just the surroundings that I was surrounded with. It was a lot of crime, everything going on, and thank goodness for Boys and Girls Club. That kind of saved me.
Right.
Yeah, man, it was a tough situation. But at the same time, I learned so much. I learned how to
Right.
survive. I learned everything. So
That's what's up, man. Now, even with that, where does your story go from there? You was in D.C. You went to high school in D.C.
Yep. So actually, I went to a high school in D.C. I played basketball.
Okay. I ain't know that now. I ain't know all that now.
All right, let me find out you was hooping.
Yeah.
I might have
man.
to,
Listen,
hey.
Might be a bucket getter.
I was hooping, and then I moved from D.C. I moved to Woodbridge, Virginia.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And like I said, I had two knee injuries that pretty much I thought that I was going to be going to college and doing great things, and then these two knee injuries that took that out. So
Right.
in the meantime, I was working at Foot Locker,
Okay.
and so
Okay.
I loved.
It's about to be a full circle story.
I had a love for sneakers at a young age. So
Word.
when everything happened, they loved me, man, because I could sell, anything.
Water to a well.
I had the personality. My whole thing was I was selling you something. If you came to the store,
Right.
you leave with something you ain't even come to get. So, so when that happened, I didn't go. I couldn't afford to go to college,
I was about to say
and I
that.
didn't do the academics to get scholarship or something like that to college. So I worked. So and so 2 weeks after I graduated, I was moved to Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
They offered me a management job for Foot Locker.
And then everything kind of spiraled from there. Now,
Well,
I was about to say,
Well, I could sell real good, but I was the worst manager in management history.
man, why is that
What you
though?
had going on? Take me back to that time.
Man.
How was the spot? Was you just not opening it up on time?
Oh,
Just-
no, not with none of that.
Okay, what happened?
I had anger management issues.
So you was going off on customers or the workers?
Oh, the workers. It's my way or the highway. And, I didn't have those skills around that. So it didn't matter I was coming in and firing people on my first day. They were like, hey.
What?
The manager's like, hold on, man.
Said, I'm the manager in here now.
We just gave you keys.
He's a new sheriff in town,
was
big
like-
dog in town. Now.
You ain't like my way. That was it. So, long story short, man, they said, listen, I had just moved there. I'd probably been there, I want to say maybe about 4 or 5 months. They was like, man, this ain't working out. Either you can take these anger management courses or, you can be going back home to D.C.
Right. Now, how old was you around this time?
Man, I was 19, 20.
Oh, okay. So you were still young. I mean,
I was young,
Because
man.
like somebody told me at that age, hey, bro, go to therapy or go take like anger management. I feel like I wouldn't. I'd have been like, what? I don't
Listen.
need none of that.
I'm
You know
so
what I'm saying?
I'm so competitive though. I hate to lose.
Right.
So to me, that'd have been losing going back
To DC.
to DC saying you failed.
Right.
And so that wasn't gonna happen.
For sure.
So because I was the best ever in selling because I was competitive.
Right.
Right. So in this situation, I had to learn real quick. And and the funny thing about that, taking those courses, what I learned was, it was actually going to be a 3-month course.
Okay.
But I stayed on for another 4 months because once I learned the art of dealing with people, then I said, oh, wait a minute. Now I can be the puppet master.
Oh, so it actually it really did actually help you.
Oh, no. First I was going through it like, okay, let me knock this out and then I'm going to be back.
Right.
But when I started learning around, a lot of times when you arguing with someone, it ain't really, you forget what is you actually even arguing about.
Exactly. You just throwing
It's
stuff
really about how somebody approached you. And it's on that. And the thing was too, I learned I had to listen, not just to answer. Right? Listen just to respond. Because I already had my response, whatever I was going to say to you, no matter what you said to me, I already knew what I was going to say. But when I started listening, to listen, not just to respond, then I started to learn real quick about the art of negotiation, how to read people.
For sure.
How to look at their body language, how to diffuse the situation where, you preparing for someone and they think you upset. They think you angry. Right. They coming in like this already. Right. And you come in and say, hey, you got a moment? I want to talk to you about a few things before you talk. I want to get through a few things. Would you mind if I, you let me talk before you? And they're looking at you like, yeah. Okay.
What you got to say? Go ahead.
And then you start out of disappointment versus anger. Then they don't know how to prepare for that. Right. It's almost like they are expecting me rah. I'm like, nah, man. You know what, man? Let me lay this out. And if this was happening, if I did this, and you, how would you feel? Push it back to them. Right. 99% of the time, they're like, oh, now that you said it like that.
But had you walked in there on some, you done did this, and this, man, you gotta fit. Now it's like
exactly. They already prepared for that.
Exactly.
They already coming in, already guns blazing. You the first, and you go a little
because they know what they did. It's just the way that you brought it to them.
And I use that not only in personal, but also the art of negotiation with millions and millions of dollars worth of deals, dealing with shoe vendors or different vendors, and then at home, personal stuff.
Hey,
arguing about the most dumbest shit.
Exactly. I was about to say, do you take that home to like your personal marriage? Like, because I noticed that I do that too. Like, I did the same thing. I had to take like some classes and stuff like that when I was working with it was some youth, like troubled youth, when I first got done playing basketball. And like I was going through the little classes, you know what I'm saying? But then I was like, damn, this is actually kind of dope, because like this helped me argue with my girl. Like like for real, it was like that though. It's more like, why am I just let her talk, listen.
Understanding.
Communication cures all, fellas.
It does.
So let me jump into this though, Juan, because you said something where you was like, you use this. You keep saying the art of negotiation. Have you read the? What's that book? Never Split the Difference.
I have not.
Have you heard of that?
But I'm gonna put that on my list.
Hey, that's a good one.
Ronnie, Chris Voss, Never Split the Difference. He like forgive me if I'm wrong. It's been a couple years, but I think he was like a top FBI agent, or he was part of like the head negotiation team for people who go in and they doing heist and all of this stuff. For SWAT around the world. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So he was like their number one negotiator. Wrote a book called Never Split the Difference, and just go through different techniques and stuff like that. Body language, how they did this crazy scenario. So I'm saying that to say, run us through a deal that you had to go through when you was negotiating something with Finish Line, wherever you was at. What's something that was a big deal that you was kind of in negotiations with?
So when I first came to Finish Line, we had bought about 135,000 pairs of Stan Smith Ice. So it was a Stan Smith shoe with the ice bottoms, different colors and all that. So I first came to Finish Line, and so they bombed. We had we bought 135,000 pairs. We probably about 80,000 pairs sitting in the DC.
Damn.
And we out there at this point now. I think the shoe's out, $29.99.
Right.
So now I got to get them to take these shoes back.
80,000 pairs.
Yeah.
Okay. Break that down.
So
that's tough.
You can do one or two things, right? Because again, in this business, you don't want to burn bridges, right? I can come in as the bully and I can say, hey, you need to take these shoes back or I'm canceling everything, right? Mm-hmm. Or I can come in and say, listen, man, we got 80,000 pairs here. in the meantime, you got these 5 new styles that's coming in right here. Over the next 6 months, that's almost about 350,000 pairs.
Right.
Which you would agree that these are going to sell, absolutely. But based on my budget and what I have, these can't come in unless these go away somehow. Mm-hmm. And I would hate for those not to come in, knowing that you know they're going to get sales. So,
Hey, man.
what would you do?
Damn, Ronnie over here, Jay Prince.
and you slide and you say, so what would you do? And the same person is going to say, well, if we take these 80,000 back, we got 380, so it's going to come in. It's an easy scenario.
Right.
Versus I could just come in and say, listen, hey, these right here, we're going to cancel.
Yeah.
If you want to send me some free shoes, fine, but these all cancel. But then I'm pegged as that guy.
Right.
At the end of the day, you going in negotiating or in communication, you're going to have to agree to disagree. Everything ain't going to be a yes. But how you say no
is everything.
It makes for the next thing, and
Absolutely.
the next thing, and the next thing. They got to respect you. And, again, now there's certain things you have to bite the bullet on. Like maybe say if I had a SMU, a special makeup, you told me, man, I did not want to do this green shoe with the pink bottom. I said, no, you need to make it for me. And it fails, I can't come back to you and say, hey, these 100,000, they ain't selling. So
Right.
that's unethical, right?
Exactly.
It's a special makeup. So those negotiations like that where, it's got to make sense for everybody.
So they took the shoes back, I'm guessing.
Absolutely.
I was just about to say that. Did they take them back? They made the smart decision when it's all said and done.
Yeah,
that's just what it is. What would you do? They would have did that.
At the end of the day.
You know what I'm saying? Now, we did introduce you, you know what I'm saying, as the senior vice president. But I was watching something. It was a speech that you gave like 10 years ago. I don't know if you know, it's on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
I was watching. That was a dope speech, by the way.
Yeah.
That was a dope speech.
It was a tough year. We had an extremely tough year. And we had a lot of speakers that came through. We had the managers. We had a tough year. Mm-hmm. And, as people was going through, I was just jotting things down on my iPad, right? Mm-hmm. And just talking to myself around things. And then when I had to get up and do the speech, a lot of things that I had jotted down, it just started coming off the dome. Mm. Because a lot of people already looked like they had already failed or they defeated.
Right.
So I shared my own personal story with them, letting them know that, there's going to be some times and days that, you're going to feel like you ain't worthy or
Exactly.
you're not, like you don't mean anything.
Man, and that's what I wanted to dig into is because you had an entertainment business as well, right?
Oh, yeah, man.
I want to dig into that. Yeah. Like, what was that for one? And
Ronnie
then
start smiling on that.
And then with that, you said that, at a certain point, it was doing really well. And then all of a sudden.
Yeah, man. The best thing that happened to me was losing $1 million. And, it's so crazy because, this thing called life, man. I've been through everything. Concert promoter, nightclub owner, in that business for 11 years. I've seen it all.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like you realize sometimes you can get comfortable. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you realize that no one's going to run the job like you. And when you have your hand in so much, right, and you rely on the people, you get a little bit complacent. Mm-hmm. And for me, I had $35,000 every week of profits.
And at this time, this is the club that you own?
Yeah, I had 2 nightclubs. And
so was that here or was that back?
No, this was actually in Augusta, Georgia, and Columbia, South Carolina.
What's the names of them?
So Club Versace was in Augusta.
Club Versace?
Yeah, and then Secrets in Columbia, which people back there they'll know what Secrets is. Secrets 2. But yeah, man, we had a nice run, but at the same time, it's just like everything goes up, things go down. And what you learn in that instant is that the people who you think won't. The ones you think won't, actually will.
Damn.
But it was, when I say it was the best thing that happened to me, because I think when you start believing that more money will, a lot of times people realize that money makes happiness, and that's not the case. Mm-hmm. you can have money and be comfortable, but you can buy as many Gucci, Louis. Don't get me wrong, I like nice shit.
Yeah, look at you.
Backed out and
But-
came in with the
Hold up, he ain't talking about the roads. He ain't talking about the bus out there.
But at the same time, and I tell people this all day, every day, all this stuff could be gone. But you have to come back to your morals. Could I get it back? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the drive when you got to bet on self and realize that, not being complacent, but understanding that this can go away tomorrow.
Right.
And so when I had to start over from nothing, after, 3 houses and
Talk
cars,
about it. That's what I wanted.
boats and things like that, to sleeping on your brother's couch. And, thinking this stuff's going to fall out the sky because all the stuff you did for other people. And
it's not coming back full circle.
It's not coming back full circle, but then you learn too, man. I had a lot of money at a young age, but I didn't. And I talked to people about this. I said, I was the big dog in the circle, but I should have been making my circle the oval. Surrounding myself with other people, things that I didn't know about. Real estate, investment, stock market, all those things. I rented. I could have owned.
Right. Just because you ain't even know. You know what I mean?
Because myself, I'm balling, but I was paying off somebody else's dreams.
Exactly.
And, when you really dig down to the details, like, man, if I just would have elevated my circle, and elevating your circle means you're going to lose people who you think you're friends. And a lot of times they're not, and everybody's not going to move with you, right? There's people that just want you to stay in the same spot so they can just hang on. But when you start elevating, oh, he changing.
He acting weird.
Oh, he weird. He got a new friend. He don't want. Well, nah, man. Listen, I'm trying to take you with me, but you ain't. Once you realize you can't make somebody want something they don't want.
Man.
And you can't make them dream bigger than they're not willing to even wake up on time. So it's like I tell people all day, every day. It's like you gotta shoot for the moon, miss the moon, be amongst the stars. Every day you wake up. Every day you wake up, everybody's asking me, how you doing? You can ask me this for the last 5-10 years, it'll be the same. I'm fantastic. My daughter, who's now 11, and she was 2 years old, same thing. I'm fantastic because the moment that you wake up, you got a chance to change anything that's gonna happen today.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that just? Do you feel like it kind of mostly made you focus on what you felt your strengths actually was after that too? Like I was doing all of this, but now I know that I should have just been doing this. You know what I'm saying, or whatever it is? Because like sometimes, like me and him, for instance, even in the business, like we looking at that, like now we like, damn, like if we would have started doing this, now we know. We said it in our meeting today. We like, now we know because we went through the last like year. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, the best advice that I had to take myself is that sometimes you can drown in thinking about what you had, what you lost, and mistakes. Be in a hurry to make a mistake. Because when you come the next time, you're going to see it. I mean, for me, man, like I can always tell. I can size somebody up and I can tell when their intentions is something else.
Right, because you done dealt with so many different
I done dealt with so much now. And then even with those anger management, I can just see it. I can tell from the body language how they shake their hand, how they look at me, period. But in the past, I was just like, oh, yeah, I'm going to still give you a business card and then I don't call you. Now, I just like, nah.
Right.
I call it out straight, off the
It
bat.
just is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Actually, you know what? There's no need for us to even have a conversation.
We ain't gonna do like that.
Why?
You cool, but
but nah, man. This and that. You name dropping everybody. Now. So what have you done?
Exactly.
If you want me to connect you with all my contacts, give me something about you. Give me what's the substance? Because my man and then. Oh, okay. All right, my man. Listen, this is good. Listen, keep going, focus, and when you get off
that's
the ground,
real though.
When you get off the ground, and come back and holler at me.
Most definitely.
They gotta just respect that.
Most definitely.
That's facts. But I want to know. Like, so you basically saying you was at whatever 100K in profit off the nightclubs a month, but what changed where you was like, okay, it's starting to go downhill? Was it because we know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We come from probably different but still similar backgrounds. How it is here, you got a nightclub up, stuff start moving a little bit different.
Right.
Couple people get got outside of it, that changed the whole situation of the front. And it's like, damn, I can't even move how I want to move. We got to shut it down. We got to move a different spot. Or I got so much more light and stipulations and all that type of stuff on me.
Yeah.
And it may not even be that. I'm just saying, we know how that go from just knowing a couple people who, you know, whatever.
Yeah. So here's the thing too. In the business of the nightclub, it was so lucrative because we understood you have to have more than one night or more than 2 nights.
Right.
And we had actually 4 nights, which was unheard of.
So y'all had what, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday?
And Sunday.
Oh, wow.
We did comedy on Sundays. We had R&B hip hop, and then we had salsa merengue, and then we had international.
Right.
And so we had different crowds, and so that's why the money was
plentiful.
But at the same time is plan, prepare, execute. What you gonna do with the cheese? I was living my best life. I mean, cars and stuff. But even back then, you know, $100,000 cars and all that. I mean, but at the same time, I had other businesses going too. So I was a jewelry store. We had a lot of different things, but at the same time is when you start to get to a situation, what was really driving it was a club business, entertainment.
Right, that was the base, the foundation.
And it wasn't one thing; it just happened all at once. I had my partner who didn't understand the club business. He had like daycare centers and things like that, and he let someone come in and do 18 a party, 21 a drink, and you can't mix.
Right.
And we had an upscale nightclub, so you can't mix that.
Yeah.
I never forget that, man. He did Yin Yang Twins. And I was at it.
That joint went crazy then. Back when Yin Yang Twins was hot.
Was you living out there at the time in Georgia?
When he like this, hold on, Ronnie. He was like,
oh, yeah.
I'm a whisper.
I think that whistle while you work was a twerk.
Whistle while
you twerk. And listen, I wasn't there because, we was doing these concerts. And I think we were on the, I think my brother and I was on a Cash Money Rough Riders tour.
Okay.
And so I come back and I'm looking like, man, it's a Friday night. We have at least 2,000 people strong.
What?
We had a big club. And it's like 40 cars in the parking lot. So I go in
that was
to see
alarming.
my partner. He was like, man, we had 60 infractions of underage drinking. The liquor license gone. And
just from that one decision of trying to decide.
Now this is a restaurant, or this is a nothing.
Now this a juice bar. And our whole thing was we had different crowds.
Yeah.
So now you have no liquor license. Got this venue. So you talking about, for me,
60 that's crazy.
Yeah, it was bad. It was shooting in the parking lot, in the air. I mean, it was just it was all bad.
So did y'all end up trying to turn it into something, or you just kind of closed it down?
Well, in the midst of trying to go through everything because you had to sit in front of the mayor to get I did everything right to get the liquor license and all that stuff. But after that point, man, I was like, okay, all right, I need to sell.
Yeah.
At my point, and then it just so when I sold and I walked away probably about $200,000, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And for me back then, that was I was making $1 million a year. It was, so
you felt like you really had lost on that.
Oh, I did
from that though.
Because
even making that profit,
cause again, I
still felt like damn.
35.
Because you was making that, you was making that enough, right? You made that in 2 months.
So it was like
basically.
So now that all stops. So think about it now. It's
and then you living big life off of it.
You living big time now. You got 3 houses. You got Versace furniture. You got, you living beyond, because again, you knew the money's coming.
Right.
But when the money stopped and you didn't make those investments around keeping other things going.
Absolutely.
Or you didn't keep the kitty of saving, because it's like, oh, I'm going to have this next week.
Yeah. That's tough. I mean, that's tough for especially people that come from our communities, for one, because it's money that they just never saw, never had, never even looked at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Never seen it in front of them, nothing like that. So think about this, $35,000 a week.
In profit.
In profit.
Talking about
It's some people that's making $35,000 a year.
Yeah, that's true.
gross.
Where we grew up at. I'm talking about where we grew up at.
Most people.
So a week, you like, psh, it's coming next week.
And then
You can blow the 35 that week, and you're gonna be still straight for the month.
And not forget too, you the breadwinner, so you paying bills for a lot of people.
Exactly. People fall into that.
All those things. But then when you got to say no,
You find out who your real people are.
you find out real quick.
And I bet that kind of hurts you too, though. You know what I'm saying? Like as the man, as the person, the alpha, the person that's like bringing the family or your friends or whatever, being used to, you know what I'm saying, just taking care of them just because they're your people. And you already don't want to say no because you like, damn, if I say no now, it's like, damn, I don't got it. And I've been having it for so long.
Oh, that's a good point right
How
there.
to deal
So
with
that probably even hit you too, regardless of their reaction. Is just the fact that I gotta say no because I can't no more.
Yeah.
Ego is a killer.
Boy.
Pride is a killer. When I tell you that, because even when I had that 200, I was still living like I had the million because I was still, helping people because I didn't want to appear that I didn't have it.
That I lost. Yeah.
So, but when I moved back to DC and, now I'm back with my brother, I'm on, these, and I got these 3 huge storage units. And one of my, don't worry about me. I'm gonna pay that, and take care of. Well, that didn't happen. So now you lost
All your
3 houses of storage units. That's why I hate that show that come on.
The storage wars.
Yo, because somebody hit the jackpot. They hit the jackpot.
Because they got to keep your shit, huh?
Man.
You talking about all that Versace furniture?
Man, everything. Man.
Oh.
You talking about.
I hate hearing these stories because this how I really be at home. Do I really be like, oh.
Oh, yeah, man. Listen, I'm talking about, you got to understand, too. If I was a sneakerhead before the term was coined. So I had every original in these storages because I had so much.
Yeah.
And so, but again, it teaches you something really, really quick. And so, when I said pride and ego, because I didn't want to ask nobody for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to appear for nothing. Mm-hmm. And then when I got when I was even in DC, I was still balling, going out to club,
Yeah.
Same lifestyle.
And then next you look, that money gone. And so now it's been a year. Now I'm on my brother's couch. And then everybody gotta have a low point.
Yeah.
Right? You gotta hit something that's a low point. For me, my brother was like, he had a female coming over. And he was like, yo, Ron, can you straighten the room up? I ain't gonna have time to get home. Can you straighten it up before I get? Yeah, no problem. He come and give me $100 bill. And at that point, everything just like blacked out. And I'm looking at this $100 bill, I'm like,
damn,
$100.
Yo, man, you just was making $1 million. And now you had 3 houses gone. You got $100,000 Benz out there. You can't even put gas in it. And you just clean the room for $100. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? And that was the low point. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I took the $100. I go to the dollar store, and I buy a dry eraser board. Because one thing about me is, if you can fake the funk in your head all day, every day. Yeah. Right? And you can say, you can have something, go, well, I ain't gonna do it, and this and that and that. But when you write it down, you gotta look at it. You just put it up on that board, or you put it on the refrigerator, and you feel like, again, like I was telling you, I hate to lose. Yeah. So that was like the home base. Now, of course, like anybody else, you're gonna write down the most stupidest shit ever for a goal. You know? Yeah. 300,000 in the bank in 2 months. Like, man, you ain't got 500. So let's get realistic. So I had to
more
really
attainable.
Get off my brother's couch, find a job, open up a bank account. I had to go back to the bare minimums. Mm-hmm. But what happened was, as you start to cross off, you kind of get your bobo back. Yeah. You start to, and so, and I had to really, recalibrate everything. Because it was kind of like, now it's like,
I got a point to prove.
I got a point to prove, but also more so, I got to prove it to myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everything that I knew, it ain't like somebody handed me anything. I worked for everything. I was a hustler. I mean, like, even when I was going back and forth from Georgetown selling, I mean, listen, I was in Foot Locker, and then I went to Lady Foot Locker in South Carolina. So I got to South Carolina, right? But I was going back and forth from Georgetown, getting the watches, the fake joints. I'd be selling them in the store, you know.
Right.
And I started doing small parties, and I used to sell the tickets in the store. And, that's how it all came back, because I was selling tickets in the store for my parties, and my customers like, what is people in here buying? I was like,
Everything.
hey, I throw
Everything.
parties.
Yeah.
And she was
was
like,
hustling.
They're buying shoes, jewelry, clothes,
Everything.
watches,
And now-
movies.
cell phones, getting their phones turned on, and
Pit
back signing the
bulls.
contract. But it was funny because one of my customers was like, "Well, my husband is the director of the Carolina Coliseum. You need to meet him."
Do I?
Okay.
Yeah.
I do.
Wow.
So, but going through that whole thing, man, it was just you really learn that, okay, man, I gotta have a plan, prepare, execute. I just gotta write these things down. Then I gotta get them as I cross them. I'll go to the next thing.
Yeah.
But I'm always thinking about bigger. Now, it wasn't hard for me because I realized already had the taste of what's in my mind.
Success was.
In my mind, what success was.
Right.
And success is a lot more than just money. At that time, I didn't realize it was just stuff and money. It wasn't relationships. It wasn't the mentorship or pulling somebody else along with you.
Yeah.
It wasn't any of that self or
Health.
health, or just being able to be financially literate.
Knowing what's really going on with your shit, not just making a whole bunch of shit. You like, okay, cool, I got this, that's going over here. Yep, this for me. This, I'm free, and your mind can be free. Like this, I can play and I can blow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All of this stuff is moving. This is what's coming back in on the residual. This is what's, whatever, kind of having that. But Ronnie, I got a question for you though. Kind of a different type of question, and let me know if I know you raw with it and stuff too. But I still want to respect your position and stuff like that too, because I kind of can just be thinking of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But Ronnie, did you ever to get to a to work with any Fortune 100 company to whatever? It's a lot of politics that play into that. You know what I'm saying? I can imagine. Me, I couldn't keep a job. Like, I just tried to work, and that shit just didn't work out for me. Like, I had 3 jobs, fired back to back to back. I was like, yeah, this just ain't gonna work out. I gotta do something different. You know what I'm saying? But, my question is, like, is it a lot of politics to get to the position that you are right now? Did you have any, even, you know what I'm saying, racial politics that you had to overcome, being from, coming from a, you know what I'm saying, a ghetto, and then maybe a lot of your counterparts, the people that you work with, don't even know what that life maybe is like. I don't know if it is or not. I ain't in that realm, but from the outside looking in, I look at the corporate structure. The higher you get up, the less maybe color you actually see.
Right.
Just in general. You know what I'm saying?
Especially in the times that he was probably coming up. I mean, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of cool. Not to say it like this, but now it's kind of cool to hire some black folks.
Yeah, it's cool to.
It's
you know
the
what I mean,
cool.
our culture,
It actually is cool now.
We still got a long way to go, fellas.
Yeah, most definitely.
Because when I say, for me, it was different because I didn't change, because, again, people are like, how the hell you in a company that's $3 billion that you ain't never go to college?
Right.
How the hell how did that even happen? It's like, again, it's relationships. It was performance, right? You got to, you can meet and network all day long, but if you ain't bringing nothing to the table,
Exactly.
nothing. But once you get into these rooms, of course, man, when I first, listen, we didn't get to that part of the story, but when I was actually I was a buyer at Nordstrom's. It's a whole situation, but when I got offered the job at Finish Line.
And, not to cut you off, this is after all of this entertainment stuff has happened.
After all the entertainment stuff has happened.
This is back on the way back up.
On the way back up, basically. One of my high school buddies, he had a job at this place called Nordstrom, and he told me about it. And he's like, "Hey," and I was like, "Yeah, I can do that, but at least I got to come in as a manager." And he was like, "Yo, man, Blake Nordstrom swept the floors in the back. It don't work like that. You gotta work from the floor on up." So I went to Atlanta, interviewed for the job, and boom, I was working for Nordstrom's. Sales floor.
So you was over there selling girls the little red bottom shoes. You was like, hey baby, I think you can slide in these.
Listen, man, I would sell anything possible, but you gotta understand, I'm coming from the nightclub business, so
Right.
I'm in Nordstrom's with bright yellow apple suits,
Right. You like, oh,
Right.
I'm here. I'm standing out.
gators, you know, and people look at me like, what? And y'all got a pimp up in here? I'm like, what you talking about, man? This is a natty. You understand what this suit is? But once they got past the bright color suits, my salesmanship was I just knew I had to gift the gab.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm sitting there going, damn, okay. And the old dudes, they would never tell me anything on, you know, because I saw these shoes. I remember my first sale was like these Mephistos, right? And I'm ringing them up to 2 pairs for the guy. And I'm like, $875.24. He was like, what? I said, $875.24. He's okay, thanks. I'm like, these look like some Buster Brown shoes.
Right.
It's $800. Wait a minute, I'm getting 6%. Oh, okay. All right.
I can see
Let me
that.
start reading up on these shoes. So I mean, I was sneakers. I wasn't selling dress shoes, so I didn't know nothing about these. So now I started to get to the point like, okay, man, no matter what somebody buy from me, I'm gonna write them a thank you note. I remember these guys looking at
Got
me
creative
going,
with it.
man, why would you do that? The guy just spent $100 on some New Balance. I said, you're right, but the guy you spent $5,000 with you, he expecting that. What do you think when that guy get home with this $100 shoe? What he gonna do? He gonna tell somebody.
Exactly.
And my referrals and people start coming back in. And then I'm like, no matter what they
You
were
was they
wearing,
guy. Like,
Again, how it was at Foot Locker.
it was competitive. And like, hey,
Okay.
they was like, oh, if you got a 10 pair of shoes, you gotta have a belt, right? No, let's walk over there. By the time we walk over there, he done pulled up another shirt, underwear.
right.
So this done turned into now
Whole outfit.
$800, you know. And
See?
then I'm sitting there with his wife talking. I'm like, well, listen, he buying something, you gotta treat yourself. I'm over there, so I'm selling everything.
Right.
So that just went to the point where then next you know I'm in management.
Okay.
And then from management, I'm back in DC, Pentagon City. Now I'm actually a manager for the shoe department. Right.
Nordstrom, still, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I go from the sales floor to the buying office in less than 16 months, which was kind of unheard of. Because by the time
They be having like little levies on that too. They be like, you at least got to be here 2 years, 3
Right.
years.
well, you know what's crazy, man, for me, it was like that hustle, right?
Yeah.
When I got there and I'm like, man, this department hadn't made this years, and they hadn't made their month in 2 years. And I'm thinking, man, what am I do differently? I sit on the shoe shine stand and I'm watching people, and I see people come out the back room. Sorry, we don't have your size. I'm just like,
What?
now Nordstrom's, you know, back then you had to bring out 3 shoes and a shoe treat to every customer. I don't care if they ask for a Jesus sandal.
Right.
You got to bring it out to every customer. So I come on the sales floor. I say, okay, now they don't know me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm here. I'm coming from Atlanta. They've never. So now I'm getting the service and letting them service me, and they give me the worst service ever. They passing me off. Nah, we don't got your side, none of that. You know. Okay. So the next morning I show up. How you doing, Ronnie Jefferson? I'm the new department manager. And that look on your face,
Ooh.
I know why that look is on your face.
Ooh.
Welcome to Fantasy Island.
Yo, that's wild. Hey,
so-
Wild Creative, they was like, what?
And one thing I learned too, so you know how you go into the malls, you get those people that's selling those hand lotions or whatever it is.
Yeah.
They just don't stop.
Yeah.
I started recruiting them.
Mm.
These girls is doing, you know, back then it was
A lot of them
whatever
be
it
from
was.
Israel and stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
I started recruiting them to come work. And the old timers like, well, they don't know anything about shoes. But they know service.
Exactly.
And man, we went
That
from,
means something.
we
They can
closed,
learn about a shoe. You can learn about a product.
yeah, but you're service wise. So yeah, man, I closed that gap. We were down about 130,000 when I got there. In the middle of the month, we closed the gap to lose by 12,000. And I got the call from my guy who was the national sales manager for Nordstrom's. So he came to visit. He's like, what are you doing differently? And from there, man, we became, nice little bond. After that, we lose that first month. I won every award for the 8 months and then got promoted.
That's wild.
But you build a team around you that want to win. So everybody understood what the purpose was. And it wasn't about one person. It was me understanding I only had 3 things you couldn't bend the rules on. And they knew that. If you bent them, I don't care if you sold the most or not, you out.
Mm.
And so,
which is what?
And it was just, first of all, it was on time, right?
Right.
You got to be on time.
Yeah.
Right. It was, the service of, how you service the customer. And at the same time, too, wasn't the gossiping that was on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Those 3 things, because it was a lot of that, man. It was back and forth and all this. But the team wanted to win because now I had Pentagon City, right? And Tyson's Corner was our arch rival. And so we knew their goals. Yeah. So it was almost everybody knew the plan. We knew we were going to be prepared and execute. And we started killing it.
That's what's up, man.
Damn. So how'd you get to the position that you at Finish Line? Though? Where's that gap at?
So Sam was the national that I was telling you about, who came to visit. And over the years, he was the guy, and we built a bond over the years, and so to the point where at Nordstrom's, he decided after 28 years he resigned. He left.
Damn, he worked there his whole career. Huh?
Yeah, he left, and he told me he was leaving, and everybody was like, I started calling other people. They were like, "What? Why would Sam call you?" I said, "Yeah, he told me he was leaving." And so I was here doing a store visit because I had the whole Midwest. I was based out of Chicago now.
Okay.
So I got promoted, went over there, I had an assistant buyer.
He done been everywhere, boy.
Literally. And then came up to Chicago and was running Chicago, and so I had the whole Midwest and managed buying. So I was here I was in Indianapolis doing a store visit. Next thing you know, I run into Sam. He was like, "Yo, Ronnie, man, I've been trying to reach out to you, Man, I want you to come down and meet the founders of Finish Line," because now he was the president of Finish Line.
Damn.
And he was like, "Yeah."
And he was based out here in Indy?
He was based out he moved from Seattle. He was in Indy. And just ran into me there, right? And so I'm like, "Yeah, okay, cool." So I come in, meet the founders, meet the CEO, and I was so cocky. I remember that. They were like, so why do you want to leave Nordstrom? I'm like, shit, I don't. I'm just here just to find out what y'all got going on. Next, I was in 20 interviews.
What?
I have no resume, no application, no nothing. And so we talked, and then, next day he called me and was like, "Hey, they like you. Want to offer you this job of vice president, DMM." And the only thing I heard him say was vice president.
You was like,
And I was like, okay, all right. I knew the division merchandise manager of lifestyle kids and lifestyle footwear and kids shoes. I'm like, okay, cool. I hang up. I duck him for the next 3 months.
what? For what? You love Nordstrom that much?
No, man, I was scared.
Other responsibility.
No, scared of what society had deemed success. I didn't go to college. This was playing in my head. And you got this good job here. Nordstrom's, you doing good. You ain't go to college, them folks gonna find you out.
Like that next step, that's that
vice
that's
president.
that spotlight right there.
The spotlight. You're gonna be a vice president. You ain't went to college. Now you
A little bit of self-sabotage.
you plan it in your head because now you're comfortable.
That's real.
You're nervous. And so the phone rang every day. 3 months. I look at it. I don't answer.
That's wild, man.
Then I get the call from Nordstrom's. Actually, my boss right now had wound up taking my former boss's job. So he called me and was like, "Hey, man, listen, all the buying offices is going to be moving out to Seattle. We're going to offer you the national buyer for athletic." Now, my son was in Richmond, Virginia, so I was just like, yeah, that ain't going to work for me, man. I can't move out to Seattle, so I'm going to go ahead and take the severance. And so the next day he called me back and said, "You know what? Don't worry about it. We're going to leave it as is. And matter of fact, we're gonna give you a $5,000 raise. So I'm like, okay. So I hang the phone. I'm like, now I want you to think about something, Ronnie. You're gonna be the only buyer that's not in Seattle. You got the best business now, but what happens when your business fall off? Pick the phone up, call Sam. It's like, damn. He's like, what happened, man? Were you in an accident?
Ain't answered the phone for 3 years.
Everything right? What's wrong, man? I was like, man, I was scared. He's like, scared of what? I said, man, I ain't go to college. He's like, man, first of all, man, you know how to lead a team. You can adapt to white, green, red. Your tenacity of teaching people, of understanding how to win. As he's saying all these accolades, I'm sitting there going,
damn, I do got
what got me to I forgot what got me to where I'm at. No one gave me anything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you, in the midst of what you deem society deems as successful, you will play yourself out
of an opportunity.
And y'all need to take that as a lesson for real, because
damn,
there's been times that I've done that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like even with the real estate stuff, when I was working my corporate job and stuff like that, I was just like, nah, because benefits and this, that, and the other of like what I think people like what people think as successful, and having even people that was around me talking about it, that their success is this, they 401k and all of that type of stuff. Y'all got to look at that. What he's saying though is sometimes your opportunity will go above what other people thinks is successful. Even if you talk about it with them, they're going to be like, man, I would be careful in doing that, because that's where their ability goes.
That's 100% right.
You know what I'm saying?
And once I got that offer letter, it was 2.5 times what I was making at Nordstrom. So yes, I was running from prosperity.
God damn. Hey,
running from prosperity.
Ronnie, now you can tell me. You can tell me if you don't want to share it, but
at that time,
yeah, man.
Ronnie, at that time, what was the offer letter?
It was
they was offering you.
Yeah, it was a nice paycheck, man.
Or maybe you can give us a figure, a range.
Yeah. It was well over. It was definitely well over 6, figures. But at the time when I was I was only making. You gotta understand, I was making like at a buyer like 65,000.
right?
And then with Bone, I might make 80. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so when this came, I was just, it was,
He was like, hold on.
It was like,
Wait a minute.
It's a quarter. Is that a quarter?
Wait a minute, man. It was like, carrier one was.
Is that a couple commas?
It was, and I was sitting there going, oh shit.
Shit.
And it really wasn't about because I was used to making money.
Right.
But in this game called life of starting all over, my first check after making $1 million, my first W-2 that first year was $28,000, which I still have in my house right now.
Mm.
It's a reminder that you could be making $1 million and can be all go away.
Right.
But betting on self, the understanding that you can get it back, even if you got to go dig a ditch. My mindset is different now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I had to go dig a ditch to feed the family, I would do it. I would put pride to the side, my ego to the side. But my mindset would be, now how am I own this digging a ditch company?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a change in mindset.
Exactly. Because
Absolutely.
you're younger,
Right.
you're like, nah, I ain't doing that. What everybody
No,
gonna think
exactly.
about me digging this ditch?
Listen, man.
They gonna think I'm not that guy. I'm not that dude.
No,
That's an incredible story, Ronnie, for real though, bro. I already had respect for you,
Yeah.
for one. You know what I'm saying? Just how cool you was with me, met you through my pops and stuff like that. But, man, it's a newfound respect, man. The
Ronnie,
level
for sure,
just
man.
definitely just
Yeah.
rose a little bit, my G.
For sure, man. And just really the ability to, my bad to cut you off, but just the ability to like have it at a young age already with just natural ability, different talents, like just doing a lot of different stuff, having success, losing it, and then just like climbing your way back up, because kind of what I want to get into now, and Ronnie, man, just is what it is. We pull up to the cigar bar, You got the two-tone double R outside. It's not one R, it's two.
You ain't got to pull into your neighborhood and see it. You see it pulling into your neighborhood.
I mean, it's two-tone. I mean, we go outside running like, oh, yeah, that's what you riding in? Oh, that's what's up. That joint nice.
And then he gonna go right up.
That joint nice. That Rover, that boy clean, bro. You know, when they got it washed, that boy looking good. And he hit you with the boop, boop. I'm like, damn. Oh, nah. See, you trying to be funny.
Nah, man.
You trying to, but nah. It'd be all love, but nah, man. You see that? And just all the different stuff that you still clearly got going on. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know you in the stocks. I know you probably got you just showed me a renovation that you're doing on a high-rise type of building. I mean, I don't know if you there where you was or passed it or whatever, but just to congratulate you on just that journey. And,
absolutely.
You know, that could have, for a lot of people, maybe even commit suicide. Like,
seriously.
Damn, like from going there to that, that's a drastic jump. And that no matter what way you fall down that mountain, it ain't going to be enjoyable. Right. You're going to hit a rock on the way down. You may be lucky if you get back up.
If you get back up.
You know what I'm saying?
The thing is just getting back up.
Yeah.
And, you know, and a lot of times people they really don't understand. Because when I see about whether it's athletes or certain people that, you know, have a lot and they lose it, right? And people are like, how could you ever, just because you know, these people become multi-millionaires overnight.
Yeah.
But they have no course on how to have that type of money and what to do with it. Mm-hmm. Because even when I had money, a lot of money, what was ingrained in me was, you know, watching my cousin and them, you know, pay their loans. That's the only thing we knew. Mm-hmm. You know, we was check to check, so we didn't know about, you know.
It felt comfortable still being check to check because that's what you grew up actually doing.
Oh, actually seeing. So So investing and getting somebody to invest some money, you ain't think about it. You're like, no, you want to hold on tight. Mm-hmm. Because you wasn't brought up in that environment to think about, you know, whether it's, you know, stock market or buying real estate or investing in something that can make you a lot of money in the long run, because you haven't brought up in that environment. So when you see people have a lot of money, they just because they got money, you think automatically they're the most successful or brightest or you know, literate on how to make money while you sleep. That's not it until you get to educating yourself and start looking at what's going on.
I had a question about that too, because he brought it up, but I was gonna bring it up too, because a couple people, just being in Havana, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that, have brought that up to me that, you know, you are kind of, you know, winning in the stock market, doing some dope stuff in that. What exactly are you involved with when it comes to like the stock market, and like, are you in options, long-term holds? Like, kind of, what are you, and how did you get into that? Like, what sparked your interest into it? Because obviously before you didn't know what the hell was going on with stuff like that.
I'm gonna tell y'all a couple funny stories.
Guess what we want, man.
All right, hey, a couple funny stories, man. Come on.
So first and foremost, my first introduction to even learning about stock was when I came to Finish Line. We were in the process of buying Genesco. And so Genesco owns Lids, you know, Journeys, you name it, so much stuff and I'm like, what? I said, that's not us. I think that's Foot Locker that's buying. They're like, no. So I'm like, oh, damn. So I'm looking at that. Their stock price, our stock price at the time was like $15. Mm-hmm. Theirs was like $30. And I know we were taking a loan out to USB Bank. And then the recession hit. And so they backed out of the loan. Oh, so snap. When USB backed out of the loan, we had to pay Journeys. We had to pay, Genesco $40 million, and then they had to pay them $160 for oops, my bad. But in the meantime, though, we had what we call Class A and B stocks, and the founders had the Class A. So that means no one could ever buy us out, right? Because as long as they had those stocks. But the investment community didn't realize that, so our stock went down to $1.25. Now you understand, I was with Nordstrom's at this point, 10 years. I moved all my 401k over.
Oh, you seen that shit get obliterated.
Now, you understand me now. I done moved all my 401k over. And the stock was 15 ounce $1. So on average, I was seeing 25, 30,000 a month loss. Like you seen your, like what's going on? So at that point I was like, yo, I went and I said, listen, I don't even know how this works. I want to roll what I got left and buy $25,000 worth of shit, 25,000 shares at $1.25. And I remember the HR guy was like, man, I would never recommend this, but in your case, you ain't got shit to lose.
Right.
So I do that. Now, you understand, I'm new to this game of vice president or being, and considered as a, I'm on
Top
the team,
guy.
Right.
So stock goes from $1.25 to I think it was like $2.12. I said, hey man, I need to sell. I need to get my money.
No.
They're like, no. See, you consider the officer of there's a window. What y'all talking about a window? Oh man, see y'all trying to do a brother wrong, man. Up in there. Now they looking at me like I went to get my money.
Right. You done doubled it real quick.
And that's what I'm thinking. Okay, man, I hit a lick. So by the time the window opened, stock was at $3.80. And I was like, well, let me just
Hold up.
So I did. And by the time that I actually, and then I just really forgot about it. Right? And then next thing I look up, and our stock was at $24. And that was my first big,
Goddamn. So
introduction.
Ronnie,
That's
you
wild.
took your 25,000 that was in your 401. You bought 25,000
stocks, pretty much.
shares basically because it was at $1 a piece.
Yeah,
so you bought 25,000.
25 cents, yeah.
25,000 shares.
So
and your
close.
stock went up to $24, $25 a share when you look back at it again.
Yeah.
Where you was like, oh yeah, I'm glad he told me whatever that window thing was.
That window thing.
Hey, you was right, bro.
Hey, another case of somebody being on the podcast and timing.
Timing was everything.
Like that's crazy.
But there's a lesson here. I still did not, even after making that big lick right there, I'm like, okay, cool. I still didn't buy. I still didn't understand how to buy stocks or go out and none of that stuff. There, right? And one of my good friends was like, hey, when the pandemic hit, he was just like, hey, man, you get pretty big bonus checks and things. He was like, yo, Tesla right here is at, the time was like
400, 500.
Like four, it was like 485, something like that. Yeah, it was like 485, 486. He was like, hey man, listen, this is a good buy. I was like, why is that a good buy? It's $486. He said, well, look what it was. It was like, at that point, it was like 980 something and it just swapped. He said, so this shit is on sale. I was like, yo, and I've always been known to either do it big or small or don't do it. So I was like, all right, cool. So I bought 220 shares.
At Tesla. And then that boy went up to 1,200.
Oh, well, here's where it gets good. Here's the lesson, ladies and gentlemen. Now I had to educate myself on, learning about the stock market. Anybody who want to learn, just go and just Google stock markets for dummies. And it'll tell you everything about the ticker tape, how to read, all those different things, right? Because I didn't know. So I'm getting in the point, I'm like, okay, I'm good. Now I'm watching it. Now it's new, so I'm watching it every day. I'm watching watching. Anyway, so it goes up to $680 a share. I'm like, okay, cool, great. I'm like, yeah. Now I'm watching, then all of a sudden it falls down, it goes back up. Now it's at $1,100 a share. $1,100. I'm like, jackpot
Again.
$1,100 a share. Cash me out. I cashed it. I cashed it out. Matter of fact, the double R got, Tesla stock is on the license.
That's what. Oh, okay.
So
that's what.
So I'm like this now, right? Ooh. 2 weeks later, $1,700 a share. Now, I done cashed out 1100. I'm like, oh, what the hell? Now I'm calculating, carrying my 1,700 a share time 2. Stomach hurt.
Right.
4 weeks later, 4 weeks later, $2,700.
Oh.
God damn.
And splits 5 times.
Oh my God.
And ladies and gentlemen,
That would have been 5 double R's out there with Tesla stock on it.
well, then the other thing too is that, you know, I cashed out before, you know, I didn't understand, you know, capital gains.
Yeah, capital gains tax.
I didn't understand it was a long term. It was short term stock. I cashed out. Oh, there was the taxes on it. It was a lot more. I didn't think about that. I didn't know anything about that. So now I couldn't just go. You can't go halfway in. You know, they said let's put the head in. Now I had to go all the way. I had to figure it all. Now I had to really sit down and go, oh shit. Let me know all the rules. Tell me everything about it.
Yeah.
Which brings me to my next big one was Moderna.
Mm.
And I got a good friend, man. If he listens, he can be like, man, we looked at Moderna. It was $50-something. And I was like, hey, man, I'm going to throw 50 grand at this. I'm going to buy these 700 shares. Come on in with me. Nah, I think it's going to go down cheaper than that. Because my boy told me, saying they hadn't discovered anything about the the vaccine yet. None of that stuff.
But these were the people that's doing the research on it.
Oh, absolutely. So I got in, I bought 700 shares. And it went from up to like $113 a share. But they still hadn't found the vaccine yet.
From $5 a share?
No,
50.
no, 50.
Oh, 50.
Yeah,
50.
yeah. So
It doubled.
Right.
So it doubled.
Double.
But I've learned now, patience.
Exactly.
It went to 103, 115, and then all of a sudden it started dropping, like 111, 109.
Mm.
And I'm just like, I'm just going to hold.
Yeah.
Because I know if they get this vaccine. My partners, they got out. My guy told them to get in. He was like, nah. Long story short, when they got the vaccine, next thing you know, boom, bam, then it's at $460 a share. And I said, okay, I'm going to set my limit at $450.
Hey, man, pause, man. Listen. Hey, man. This man, Ronnie, is getting to the bag.
Binag.
But here's the thing. So
Doing it smart, though.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
when it got to 460, I said, I'm going to set it. I'm going to sell 400 of it. I'm going to set it at 450. So it came down, boom. 450 sold. I still had 300 sitting there. I'm sitting there. I'm going to wait.
Right.
And shoot, God behold, it goes up to 490. 492. I said, you know what? I'm going to set, because you got to have your limits on what and know when. So I set my limit at 490, sold the other 300. And then right after that, it started to drop. Now, one thing I did learn on the Tesla is this. So when it split those 5 times, I got right back in on it.
Okay.
So
you still was able to catch
Oh yeah,
some
so
of the
I
hotness.
went back in. I bought more Tesla, and even when I sold this, I bought more. And a lot of times with the stock market, man, it's think about things you love every day. I tell people start from there. You want to go with your blue chips, things that you know ain't going out of business, Nike or Apple, all things that you love to use every day. You start there, but then there's those other things you start looking at and going, okay, now if I'd have knew how to short the stock, see, it's still a lot that I knew. Because even on my Tesla, if I would have made millions on that just on shorting the stock, but I didn't know it, right? So now that's when you start educating yourself around it, and then you start to look at things that you start out with things that you like every day. Think about it. When we got on Zoom, who would have knew? Netflix,
right?
You could have got a Netflix at $10.
Yeah,
it's
my girl back there got Netflix. I mean, hers is a little bit different, but she had sent it to me. She was like, "Baby, you think this is a good stock to buy?" And I was just look. She had sent it to me. I think it was like 140, 152 or something like that.
Yeah,
maybe 170 or something like that. And I looked at like I seen the middle was like at 352, 355, and I seen the high was at 700. I'm like, hell yeah,
right.
You definitely need to get that.
Yeah.
I said, hey, look, don't be hitting me every day about it though.
Exactly.
Like, wait, it's gonna be a year and a half. You're gonna get it though.
Yeah.
It's gonna double.
Yeah.
Like I don't know a lot about stocks, but looking at that, That's a hit.
Yeah, I got in
You know
on
what
me
I'm
some
saying?
cool ones too. We did, well, we was messing around with it a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah,
But
we
I
did.
but I learned my
Patience.
lesson quick. I had kept
Timing.
mine in and timing, and I got hit. Zoom. Because I'm like, damn. I took out some profits and I kept a good portion in, but I was like, damn.
And the
It's only some people get greedy around the top. I was getting greedy around the top. Like I'm like, nah, I'm gonna let it go up just a little bit. Like how you said, I'm gonna put my limit at 490, so that when it dropped below that, that's it. I would get greedy around the top. I'm like, nah, let me just get a little
But the
bit
key,
more.
like you said, is though your profits you can take from it and then reinvest and
Right.
buy and so buy it at the low. Buy it at the low. Even with this whole thing with Tesla, I was like, yo, keep buying, keep buying. When that shit dropped down to $100, I'm like, oh yeah, because I know it's
Yeah.
gonna go back up, and then all of a sudden, boom, right? But then you can pull them out and then reinvest. But yeah, man, it really is like, how do you make your money work, make money for you? How do you take things and invest? Because honestly, man, I had a whole lot of things come my way when I had money. I remember somebody laughing. I told somebody, like, internet stuff, man, that shit ain't gonna work. Nobody gonna give nobody a credit card on the internet.
Right.
Uber. I passed up on that. 5,000. That would have been 15 million.
Ronnie, how much money you think you done made in the stock market? You got to just think about it.
And I ain't even gonna say by mistake, because you started to learn it and stuff like that. But it's like almost like this ain't something that he been learning his whole life.
Just learning even as
You know
you're
what I'm
going.
saying?
Maybe not
That's
even all your
crazy.
plays, but just
Yeah,
those
no.
big hits. Like how much,
No, those
if you
big
put
hits,
that together,
man,
like
if
crazy.
if I put some of those big hits together, yeah, literally, man, just on a whim too. Some of these things might, the high point probably, 1.5, 1.6,
That's making your money work for you.
and then someone was just like dumb stuff. I'm like, damn,
I don't even know what that is, but
it was just like, damn.
we won.
Did you mess with the crypto at all?
Oh boy, that's another one too. At one point, man, I had 15 Bitcoins. And when I lost, I just got out of it. I'm like, man, if I just
Right.
held on to it, sometimes you can't rush the process.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to look at it and go, man. And the hardest thing sometimes is parting way with your money for investment. It's in that mentality. If it's underneath my bed, or it's in my bank, you ain't making the money in the bank. You got to have it generating, unless you got enough in there that's going to generate that money to continue to make money. But again, sometimes it's, you got to be a little weary and do your homework, because people out here to get you money.
Man.
Scams is at an all-time
Man.
high.
Man,
Be careful out here,
If
y'all.
it sounds too good to be true,
probably is.
It probably is. Hey, but we want
Ronnie, you gonna invest in us? You gonna give us about a cool little meal?
hey man, let me see the progress, man. Let me see,
Hey, you heard what he said.
Let me see the
He
business
said, "What
plan.
have you done?" Like, what he
Look,
say?
Let me see the business plan, man.
Everybody be talking about what they Mount, but what have you done?
Exactly.
What are your credentials?
Exactly.
Listen, I'm like E.F. Hutton. I'm always listening to the next deal. Like,
Right.
what? Especially in this real estate, huh? What?
But exactly.
What you want to do?
Yeah.
Y'all be careful, boys. Boys out here losing people money too.
Man.
But man, we're gonna transition into a part of our show, man, that we kind of ended off with. We call it overtime.
Overtime.
But today we was gonna. What did we say? Oh man, this time I'll let him bring this in, because he like talking about crazy stuff like that.
One was it?
Scottie Pippen.
Oh,
This section, it could be anything silly. It could be something serious that's going on.
I like it.
oh.
Scotty, boy.
I need to holler at you, Scotty.
Hey, Lord Pippen, why you do my man? Because you continue
Yeah.
over and over again just to like damn near just
Do some wild shit.
dog this nigga Scotty, bro. From an outside perspective, I ain't saying just your normal life. Her intentions is to just dog him, but like it's kind of like the Jada Pinkett Will Smith thing. It's becoming just a continuous thing. You know what I'm saying? First, it's her and Future. Okay, cool. The world no Future. We get over that. Then it's Michael Jordan's son.
Nah, it was Malik Beasley after that, really.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Left his baby mom's on stuck.
That's right.
Started messing with her.
Forgot about
Who
that.
now plays with her son.
With her son.
Damn.
Then it's Michael Jordan's son, the guy that was your teammate, your ex-husband's. I mean, this should be on Maury, bro.
She said they didn't. Oh, we our families didn't really know each other like that.
Y'all are the
Come
two
on.
stars of the NBA. Listen, I don't care if we got opposite personalities. We have to know each
Yeah,
other
most definitely.
from the position that we sit in.
Exactly.
What? So anyway, coming up to date. Oh, man, we just seen earlier yesterday. She said on some interview that she was on, is like that she has sex 4 times a night.
Every day.
Every night. And that was like, no. Like, I know you probably had sex a lot. And she was like, no.
4
No.
times.
For 23 years, we had sex 4 times a night.
It's gotta be cap.
One of the girls, she was like, oh, poor vagina.
Exactly.
Hey, man. I mean,
Hey, man.
Poor him too.
That's
Shit.
cap, bro.
That has to be cap.
There's no, Ronnie.
What you
I
thinking?
mean, she just made the stock go up, though.
Yeah, he's not.
Shit, girls like, damn, he can go like that.
Because they were like,
Shit.
girl, let me go try that, you know. Like, what?
You gonna get that Scotty piece.
Because she was saying that, like, it was a job. Either, like, he was
Yeah.
forced. Like,
Yeah,
it was her job. For
Yeah, that's the part I
23
didn't like.
years. She's like, what about when they travel on the road? She's like, I was traveling with him.
I was traveling with him. We was always together. We took the private to the games, all of
Yeah,
that.
everything. She's like, it can be anywhere.
4 times a night, yo, my dick would not be working.
That's the thing, bro. Like,
Period.
I gotta hear Scotty confirm this.
Yeah, that's CMOS's.
Like, I got. Yeah, he said
Yeah.
that CMOS.
Hey, man, he on that Dr.
Hey,
Sebi
that
time,
Sebi
bro.
joint, man.
He better be goddamn. See, look, he better be. Hey, man.
And went out and won 6 championships?
How?
Cut it out.
Hey, man.
That must mean she had that good too.
Hey, man, she
Yeah.
got to have that phenomenal.
Yeah,
There's
because I
no
kind of
way
wanted her to
around
say, because the way, like he said, the way that she said it was more like it was a job. It's like, was it you wanting it or was it him?
Yeah, because it wasn't like
She made it kind of seem like it was him wanting it,
Right, like-
from how she was insinuating it to me.
That's
She was
what I'm
like,
saying.
no, like it was 4 times a night, no off nights.
But
that
remember-
make it seem like you don't want it like
Didn't
that.
they get into a divorce and all of that stuff because she felt like he was always out cheating? How? If you're with him every night and y'all fucking for 4 times a night?
He doesn't have
How?
any chance. He can't.
He
if
can't
he go and
cheat.
try to fuck something, that's just
That's all I'm saying, bro. Like, make it
ain't nothing
make sense.
coming out.
I feel like sometimes she say stuff, bro, for a
He
stamp,
might have been
like,
faking it. He be like, oh,
right.
Hey man, you ain't never heard a guy faking it. Scottie Pippen was.
He had to be.
hey man,
He had to
sometimes
be.
it happens.
Hey man,
Man,
that's
that's
next
wild.
level, man. Shout out to Scottie Pippen, dog, man. I hope you good, brother.
Yeah,
man.
for real.
Just keep your head up, man. It's all.
You gonna be all right. Nah, man. But nah, Ronnie, man, we definitely, man, we appreciate you coming. I know we got you out late
Nah, man,
on
this
a
was good, man.
Monday night, you know,
For
messing
real.
with us. But we definitely appreciate you coming out, blessing us with your presence, man, and just the type of people that we like to bring on here, man. Like, I didn't even know your full story, and just to hear that, and where you came from, and you know how you was all the way there and lost everything and then was able to climb back up, bro. Much respect. We appreciate you for coming on, most definitely.
Yeah, man, you just inspired me for real.
For real, me
Ronnie,
too.
You know what I'm saying? You definitely inspired me. Got me. You know what I'm saying? Just even hearing stories like this, just even open up your mind bigger. Because I ain't got to that level and then lost it on it. Like that's. Hey man, you know what I'm saying? Don't let me do that. 'Cause I'm climbing back to that mountain like this.
Right.
Exactly. That's it.
What?
Hey, everywhere I go, man, you ain't know I lost a million, man.
Yeah, lost a million, came back from it. Think what?
Can't tell me
I'm
nothing.
like that on everything.
For
You know
real,
what I'm saying?
man.
Ronnie, man, nah, it's a blessing, man. Keep doing your thing. Keep setting even that status, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, just even to say, yo, I'm the vice president of Finish Line. Us, where we come from, automatically in my head, I think it's a person that don't look like us.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Automatic. I'm
Yeah.
just saying. So just even that, you know what I'm saying? Letting people, when we talk about this on this podcast, obviously do it, you know, your own style and whatever, and you can have it in moderation, but be loud about what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? He not trying to raise no money from us or nothing like that or
Yeah.
whatever the case may be, but he might, I don't know what all he got going on. He got a lot going on, as y'all can see, you
Right,
feel me?
yeah.
But still, he loud about it, and just from him telling us what he does,
Yeah.
instead of not
Yeah.
being like, oh, you know, I just, you know, I'm in a, you know,
Mess around a little bit.
mess around a little here and there.
just a little
And
bit.
you might get into that when people get into the details about your stuff, but our people, bro, like say what you're doing though.
Yeah.
At least you know baseline, because I may be like, damn, that's dope. I didn't even know that. And you went there without a degree and all. It just lets you know what your mind. I may not want to go and be a vice president, but I may want to go and be a something.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And just make my mind open to actually what is possible. And that, hey, damn, he look like, sound like, talk like, walk like me.
Yeah.
I can do the same thing.
Most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Big
man,
inspiration.
shout out to you, Ron.
I
Appreciate
Big
y'all, man,
inspiration,
for real.
man.
That's love.
Make sure before we get out of here, make sure y'all check out the mentor program, Moguls in the Making. We still in there knocking shit out, teaching people how to get this money in real estate, teaching them how to go and look at different stuff like stock, bringing people on to talk about stocks and bringing people in to talk about property insurance, like the little things, you know what I'm saying, that you don't get, taxes, capital gains tax, stuff like that. You know, we in there talking about all of that, man. And we go live every Friday for an hour Q&A with our mentees. We have some people have some huge success inside of our program. So without further ado, man, we're going to get out of here. Oh, go ahead and take us out.
Hey, man, just to let y'all know, we got property walkthroughs once a month as well, and we have a Mogul link up so y'all can get kind of sit down with people like this where we had these conversations in real life where you can get just so much. It's invaluable. The cost of this is a Netflix membership. You know, it's invaluable for the amount of knowledge, gain, positions, relationships that you're able to get from this. So it's a no-brainer. Join it. You'll see for yourself. And you know what I'm saying? We're going to catch y'all on the next episode. For now, we out.
Out.
Peace.
Peace.